Let's go. So, the recording has started. I welcome us to this new stage, and we'll be looking at React.js. React is a JavaScript library. So, for that reason, we will first revise our ES6 syntax. Then, in our next class and subsequent classes, we will go deeper into. We will start React. So let's start. Variable declarations in ES6. In ES6, you declare variable using the let and const. So the difference between let and var is that you can't really declare a variable that's while using let. You can't really declare a variable. I can't declare this variable. I can't. This will throw back an error. If it has to be var, you can redeclare it, but with let, you can't redeclare a variable. And when we start React, we'll be using let and const. We won't be using var to define our variable. So with let, once you've declared a variable, you cannot redeclare that same variable. This will throw back an error. Yes, sir.
So I thought that one is for const.
No, I will discuss the const now. No, what I explained to us, like I said, this is an error. I will talk about const now, but when you are using let, you can't declare it like this. The only thing you can do is you can change the value inside that variable. I can change it. Here, I'm only declaring it once, and I'm changing the value. Yeah, this will work fine. So if I say alert A, this will be 6. This will be 6. So, but when you're using it, once you've declared a variable, you can't redeclare that same variable. That's one. Number two, let is block typed, meaning that if I create a variable, a block is defined by curly braces. Like, how do you know a block? Just ask yourself, where is the closest curly braces? So if I declare a variable inside this place, I can't use it outside these curly braces. I can only use this variable within these curly braces. Let's give another example. Imagine this. Okay, let me just have this, cut this, paste it here. Now, this variable is being declared inside these curly braces, and that means you can't use it outside these curly braces. But let's assume the variable is declared here. This variable is being declared inside these curly braces. That means you can only use it within these curly braces. I can use it inside this place. I can use B here. I can say alert B. I can alert B and it will work fine. I can use B here because B is still within these curly braces. When you are using let, again, when you are using let, you can only use let in its block. A block is defined by its curly braces. This is a block of code now. This A cannot be used outside its curly braces, outside this place. If I try to use it here, it will not work. It will throw back an error telling me that A is not defined. But I can use B here because B was created inside these curly braces. B, this is B. It was created inside this for loop, inside this curly braces. So meaning that I can use it anywhere within the for loop. Same way, this A can be used anywhere within this if block, but not outside. Same thing also, this B can be used anywhere within this for, but not outside. If I try to use it here, it will throw back an error. So where you create a variable really matters. If the variable is created here, then I can use it anywhere. I can use it here, I can use it here, and all of that. So where you create it is really matters. Let's assume I have a function and a variable is created inside that function. I can't use it outside of that function. I can only use it within that function because this is its block. Unlike var only respects functions and nothing else. Var does not respect other things. What that means is, if this were to be var, it means I can use it inside this for loop, and I can even use it outside. I can use it outside the loop. If this were to be var, I can use it within this if. I can even use it inside this for loop and even outside the loop. Var only respects functions, meaning that if var is tied to functions, meaning if I create a variable inside the function, then I can't use it outside that function. Beside that, I can use it anywhere within that function, meaning that if I cut this one off and I bring it here like this, let me format it. Okay, so this variable b here, although I created inside this for loop, I can use it outside the loop once I'm still within that function. I can come here and say console.b, console.b, and it will work. That's for var, but you can't try the same thing with let. Let only respect its block, And how do you know a block? A block is defined by its curly braces. Just ask yourself, what's the curly braces that surround this variable? So this is the curly braces, meaning I can only, if this were to be let, I can only use this within that curly braces. Any question? Can we proceed?
Hello, sir.
Next, we talked about const.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
sir. So I just want to confirm.
Okay.
So what you are saying, sir, is it scoping?
Yes, the scope. This is the scoping of a variable. If you are trying to define the scope of a variable, this is scoping.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about const. Const stands for constant. What that means is, once const behaves like let, just like let, you can't redeclare it. I can't come back here and say const a. It throw back an error. That's one. Just like let, it is also limited by its scope, by its block. It is limited by its block, just like let. But now, what now makes it different from let is that a constant cannot, you can't change the value of a constant. This is a constant. You can't change the value inside that constant. This will throw back an error. If you try to change what is inside a constant, it will throw back an error. Do we get the difference now?
Yes.
Okay. So that is for
Yes,
const.
sir.
Yes, sir. We are done with the variable declaration in ES6. Let's look at other important things in ES6. Other things includes, we want to look at destruction, What destruction is about is that you want to take parts, you want to remove parts of a big thing and make it stand alone. Like you have a big thing, you want to take part of it and let it stand on its own. That's what you are doing with destruction. So, and you can destructure an object, or you destructure an array. So let's see how to destructure an object together. So let's say I have an object, and this object has 3 properties. So this is an object. I want to destructure it. and make it stand on its own. I think it should be. Let me first talk about the structuring an array, then we'll come back to the structuring an object. So let's say we have an array like this. Yeah. This is an array. I want to destructure this array. What destructuring means that is this. If this were to be ES5, what we would have done is that maybe I want to create a variable, and that variable I want it to hold the second value in this array. I want it to hold the second value in this array. With ES5 we would have done something like this. Maybe A equals to AR index 1. So of course if I say alert A, that will alert it. And let's say I want to create another variable to hold the third value in this array. So I can say ARR index 2. So this is ES5. You are saying that go to this array, pick the second value and assign it to A, pick the third value and assign it to B. And let's assign this one also. Let's call this variable first. ARR index 0. So we are saying let the first value be assigned to first, then let the second value be assigned to A, and let the third value be assigned to B. It's fine. But with ES6, you are writing less codes. So all I need to do is put an array here because.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir. On a normal, without this code will not work now. Will the code work?
You said?
The code you just wrote now.
Yes.
Will it work?
Yes, definitely it will work. It will work. Let's say console log first. That we see this.
But from the previous one we just said, you said we cannot have two. We cannot have more than one.
We cannot have more than.
The previous explanation you did.
Yes, sir.
You can't have more than one lead now. In the previous one
No.
Yes.
No, that's not what I explained. What I said was that since this is already variable A, you can't create another variable A.
Okay.
Do you get it now?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. So let's run this on the browser and see the results. Seven, 8, 9. So we can just say first and A. Now this is ES5. Let's do the same thing using ES6. Remember, the purpose of ES6 is for you to write lesser code and to do more things. So what you're going to do is, I'll say, I'll comment these three out. So what I want to destructure is an array. This is an array. So because of that, I'll put a square braces here. That shows I'm about to destructure an array equals to ARR. So I will now put variable names here. What this means is, go to this array, pick the first value and assign it to first. Pick the second value and assign it to A. Pick the third value and assign it to B. Do we get how this works?
Yes, sir.
Is that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, alright, sir. So now, this square braces means you are destructuring an array, then pick the first value inside this, assign it to this, pick the second value, assign it to A, pick the third value and assign it to B. So if I did the same thing that I did the other time, if I say console log first A, B, I'll see the same thing, 7, 8 and 9. 7, 8, 9. So let's look at a scenario. Maybe I only want to assign 8 and 9. I don't want to assign this first. If I remove this one like this, well, the first value here, which is 7, will be assigned to A, and the second value will be assigned to B, and that's not what we want. We only want to assign the second and third. We want to do something that looks like this. This is to without touching the first value. So let's see how we can go about it. To go about it, you can just put this like this, and that's all. So this comma means you can put a space if you want to. This comma means I know a value is there, but I'm not interested in that value. Omit it. Then it now goes to the next value, which is it now assigns A to the second value and B to the third value. Do we understand?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So let's run it. We have 8, 9. Let's move on. So if I'm only interested in the third value, I can remove this. So we have comma comma B like this. So meaning I'm only interested in the third value. A is not defined. Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay. So we have this. So that's it. Well, you might see some things that it's still the same thing, whether you put spaces or not. But I just think putting spaces make it a bit neater, maybe. But you still achieve the same result, whether you put the space or not. So, having said that, we've seen how to destructure an array. Then you can also see codes that look like this. It's still the same thing. There's no difference. It's still the same thing. The first value here is assigning 7 to the first value. Of course, there's nothing here. Assign A to the second value, and assign 9 to B. So it's still the same thing. It's fine. So we've seen how to destructure an array. Next, let's go to how to destructure an object. Please take note of all of these things. Practice them. We are going to be using them very well in React. That's why I'm taking the pain of re-explaining this, so that we get used to them before we start our class fully. Please go through this.
Yes, sir.
Next is to destructure an object. This is an object. You want to do the same thing. In ES5, you would have done something like this. Maybe I want to say name. Let name equals to this one. So that would be obj dot name, and let's go equals to this one. That would be obj dot school. So I want to do this. Let name is this, and let's go to this. So I can say console dot log name scale like this. So what this is going to do is it will pull out name from this. So name will be obj dot name, meaning if you assign it to this, meaning name will be Taye, and school will be obj dot school, meaning school will be SQI. So when I say console log name and school, it will be Taye and SQI. So this is ES5. Let's see how to do the same thing using ES6 destruction, and how simple it is. Now this time around, we want to destructure an object, and because it's an object, we put curly braces. So the object you want to destructure. Next is you put your variable names here. Now this, I will quickly explain this part. For now, just allow me to put screen here. I will explain this part. Name will be pulled out of this place. Like it's going to go to this obj and extract name from it. So that becomes name equals to Taye, just like before. Now this group, will it use this or this? Well, unlike an array where position matters, in an object position does not matter. What do I mean? Imagine this scenario. If you have these objects, and it's time to retrieve it, you will still use, let's say I want to retrieve this school, it will still be obj.school, meaning that the position of this school does not affect how I retrieve the values inside it. Whether it's at the beginning, it will still be obj.school. Whether it's at the end, it will be obj.school. Wherever the position it is, it will still be obj.school, meaning that position does not matter. Do we get that part?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, what that means is, in this case also, position does not matter, unlike arrays where position matters. Here, it is the key that matters. So it will go to this obj and look for the property name. So it will pull it out of it and assign it to name. Meaning that this and this will do the same thing. Then this and this and this will do the same thing. So it will go to that object and pull them out of it. It will pull them out and assign it to these variables. So if I say console log name and school, it will still be Taye and SQI. Now, well, let's look at an EU together. It's possible for me to say variable my school, or let me use camera person, variable my school equals to obj.school. It's possible in ES5, but I can't do the same thing in ES6. If I try to do something like this, my school, since there is no property inside this obj called my school, it will just be undefined. It will be undefined. Let me just undefined. It's because there's no property inside this obj called my school. Remember I said it uses the key to know what to pull out, and since there's no key inside this place called my school, it's not going to know what to pull out. So maybe I still want it to be like this, meaning that come here, pull out this school, but let it be my school. I don't want to call it school. I want to call it my school. Maybe in fact this can be for many reasons. Number one, there may be a variable on this page that's already called school. So I don't want conflicts. I don't want to use. So that's one possibility. Maybe I just want to rename it. It's possible also that you just feel the need to rename the variable. So what I want to do is I want to say go to obj, pull out school, and assign it to my school. What I will just do is I'll do this. What it's going to do is if we pull out school from obj and assign it to my school. Again, if you pull out school inside this obj and assign it to this variable called my school. So if I say name and my school, that will be Taye and SQI. Let's go to the browser. Please, do you have any question? Can we proceed?
Yes.
Yes.
So we've looked at how to destructure in ES6 or ES6. So far I've looked at variable declaration. We've also looked at destruction. Let's look at other things. Arrow function. Let's look at arrow functions. In ES6, one of those things released in ES6 is the arrow function. In ES5, we'll be doing something like this. We can even put a variable here, like a parameter. This makes this function a parameterized function. This is from our knowledge of ES5. In ES6, you can write the same thing by assigning this to a variable. Coming back to this part, but let me start with this. Variable my func equals to, the parameter will be inside this place. This is an arrow, then this is the body of the function. So this and this, they mean the same thing, or they do the same thing. This ES5 function and this is ES6 function. Now this ES6 function is popularly known as arrow function or fat arrow function because it is a fat arrow. Fat arrow function. That's why it is called fat arrow, because of this arrow. So let's look at some things you can do in a fat arrow function. One, this parameter. If it is just one, if your function only receives one argument, there is no point putting these braces. If your function only receives one argument, there's no need to put in bracket around it. In fact, that's the best way to write it. Don't put any brackets around it. But if your function does not receive any, you need to put it. Let's say your function does not receive any argument, then you put it like this. It must be there. If not, it will throw back an error. And if it receives more than one, let's say my function receives maybe 2 and above, more than one, then you need to put it also, like it's compulsory. The only time where you have to remove it is when your function receives one and only one argument. In that case, remove it. Do we get it?
Please come again.
Okay. Imagine this scenario. So when I call on this function, you know it will alert hello, and I'm not passing any arguments. If I call on the function like this, it will alert hello. This function is not receiving any argument. We are not sending any parameter to this function. So when this is the ES6 version. If your function is not receiving any argument, then you have to put these brackets. If it's receiving more than one, let's say my function receives more than one. In this case, maybe 7 and 8. In this case, I'm sending it to it's receiving more than one. You also need to put it. You need to put these brackets. If I remove it, if I remove these brackets, it will throw back an error. It will not work. But if my function only receives one, then I can remove the bracket. In fact, that's the best way to write it. You remove the brackets.
Okay.
So that's how to write the arrow function. That's one. Two, we want to look at the later. Please tell me if you think it's getting too much.
It's going soft.
Okay, it's going well.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So later operator. This later operator, well, we may not use it as much as other things when we get to React. We may not use it as such, but we may, maybe for any reason we may use it, but then not like every other thing. We'll be using this very well. We'll be using the structure, we'll be using arrow function, we'll be using some other things we will learn, or that we still look at today. We'll be using spread operator, we'll be using rest operator, and some other things. I think we can stop here after looking at rest operator. We can just stop this one. But this later operator, we may not use it as much as others, but then I still think we should look at it. Let's look at what later operator is. A later operator, that says a way of concatenating things now. It's denoted by backtick. A later operator is denoted by backtick. Backtick is not your quotes. It's not single quote like this or double quotes. No, it is a sign on its own. It is the sign. If you are using what's it called?
$sign.
If you are using is it HP now? You will see it before the one on your keyboard. This backtick is used to denote later.
If you are using what, sir? You see before
like
what?
conventional keyboards, you will see it before the one. It's a symbol before one on your keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's backtick. So let's discuss when to use it and how to use it. Let's say I have a variable, and if I want to say my name with ES5, I would have done something like this. Then, but with ES6, just plain bring your backtick and write whatever you want to write. My name is. Now you are going to write dollar and this. You see this thing? You can put valid JavaScript single expression there. A valid, like whatever, it takes more than variables. It takes a valid JavaScript expression. It takes a valid JavaScript expression. That means if I write a simple expression, but of course it's going to be a simple expression. What simple expression means that you won't come inside this place and start writing a for loop. No. Or if statement. No. But just a simple expression. It takes more than just variables. Instead, see it as something that allows you to write JavaScript simple expressions. So I can say math.random and it will work because it's just a simple expression. My name is math.random, bro. Let's run this. My name is 0.9. So I want us to know that this takes simple expression. So I can now come here and put name. So this becomes my name is name. That is the value of this will be placed here. This becomes my name is Taye. My name is Taye. Then, like I said, since it takes simple expression, I can say 5 plus 7. That because my name is 12. It will execute it. My name is 12. If I try to do the same thing here, then there will be problem. It will concatenate everything together. My name is 57. Do we get it?
Yes.
Okay. The next, the little operator can also be used to return something inside an arrow function. Let's look at ES5 way of writing it. So, this is a function, and this function, let's say it's a parameterized function, if I receive no, and all this function does is to return a value. Whatever value that comes in, multiply it by 2, and return it back. So we're going to write like this. So whenever I send any value to this function, is to multiply that value by 2 and return it back. So if I say alert my phone and I pass 12n, this will alert 24 because this 12 will pass as the value of num and it will return 12 times 2, 24. Now let's now do the same thing using ES6. My arrow function const my func equals to, since it's just 1, remember I don't need to put this. Now let's start with this return num times 2. So this is how we write it in. I'll cut this, I'll put it down. Yeah, the comments this part out. So of course we have the same results. This 12 will be sent as the value of num, and this will return 12 times 2, 24. But this code can still be shorter. Let's now make it shorter. Now, I don't want to write this return, but yet I want it to work as return. I want to return something without writing this keyword called return. So ES6 allows you to remove this return, but if you are removing it, you need to remove these ones too. So in this case, this function will receive num, then it will return this immediately. Num times 2, it will return it back immediately. Do we get what is happening here?
Yes.
Okay, you are receiving num, then since there is no if,
I'm giving it back.
yes, it will return it back. If curly braces is there, it won't work as return. It won't return. Curly braces means you want to do complex, you want to write complex expressions, so it won't work as return. But once it is that there is no curly braces, it's automatically return num times 2. So this single line and all of this will do the same thing. 24. But that's not just all. I can say return maybe there are something like this. So this is going to return there are, not I'm using back tick, there are 24 oranges here. That's why I can use this one inside this place. Any question before we leave this part?
No, sir.
Okay, let's look at this last two. The split operator and the rest operator. So let's look at when you use the split operator. When you split something, it's like you are pulling it away. You are releasing it out of its container. You are pulling it out. So you can split an object, or you split an array. You can split any of the two. Let's first look at how to split an array. Then we're going to look at how to split an object. So let's say I have an array that looks like this. So here's my array. I want to create a new array that's maybe so sorry. Then I want to copy everything here and put it here, so that this will now be 7, 8, 9, 10, so that everything inside this array can be here like this. So then I want to now continue 11, 12. So what I want to do is I want to copy everything here, put it here, then have 11, 12. Well, if I do it like this, what this will do is it will just pick this, carry it and put it there, which is not what we want, because this is the index 0 of the array, this is index 1, this is index 2. Why this whole array is index 3? That's not what we want. If I just put AR, it's going to give us that result, which is not what we want. What we want is that this 7 will now be index 3, then 8 will be index 4, 9 will be index 5, 10 will be index 6, then 11 will be index 7, and 12 will be index 8. So we can use the split operator. The split operator will just pour, like I said, split operator is like we are pouring something out. It will just pour out whatever is there out of this array. It will open up the array and pour out the content of array to wherever you put it. So instead of putting ARR, I will say dot 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 ARR. This dot 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 is the triple dot is the syntax for spread operator. Please, it must be 3. It can't be 2 and it can't be 4. It must be 3. So this we should go to this array, then copy the content alone without including this square braces. You just pour the content and it will pour it here. So I can now say alert new array. I'll console log anyone. So we have this. So this is how to spread an array. Let's look at how to spread an object. Let's say state. Okay. Let's say country. Let's say object. Let's say okay. So we have this obj. Then we want to create a result that looks like this. Copy everything here. We want to make it available here. Please, in fact, we'll be using spread operator with object. When we get to React, we'll be using it with object. Then we want to add some other things now. Maybe local government. Maybe you can say across out. That is, we are copying everything here. We want it to be available inside these new objects. Then, but we still want to have some other things. So what you can just do is you just say dot 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 obj. That's all. So by saying dot 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 obj, it's just copy all of this and make it available here. Then we can now have new things. So I can say console log new obj. Well, all these things are also possible in ES5, just that you write more. You have to write more, but with ES6 you are writing only short syntax. So this is the result on the browser. Then it's also possible for you to change the state. Maybe I want to change the state to maybe Oyo. So you come here and override it. We'll declare it again. You add it again. So the state will change from Ondo to Oyo. The state of this one. The state of obj will still remain Ondo, but the state of new obj will change to Oyo. So the state is Oyo. Then the location of this thing matters. If it's before this obj, let's say this is here, the state will still be Ondo, because the state initially will start as Oyo. Then this obj will change the state to the state initially will start as Oyo, then this obj will now change it to Ondo. Do we get it?
Yes.
Okay.
But the two of them will remain in the object.
Is that?
I said with this, the two of them will remain in the object, yeah?
No, when we get to the browser, we only see one. Because you can't, two properties cannot have the same key in an object.
Okay.
So one is to override the other.
Okay.
So, and it's going to use the last value, which is that of Ondo.
Okay, I get it now.
So when we get to the browser, we see the value of state as Ondo and not as Oyo. So the location of these matters. Now just make sure that it comes after this one. That's the most important. It can be anywhere, but just ensure that it comes after this. So we have these results. Then finally, we are looking at REST operator. REST operator. REST operator, it has the same syntax as your spread operator. rest operator has the same syntax as split operator, which is triple dots. But look at it. Rest is like you saying the rest of something. Before you can have the rest of something, you must first have all of that thing before you can say, okay, give him the rest. Number one, it means there must be a whole. I mean in full. Then a part of the whole must be taken out before you can now say have the rest, right? Have been now.
Yes, yes.
So before you can have the rest, you need to first have a whole. The part of the whole needs to be taken out. It needs to be removed. Then you can now have the rest. That is what rest operator helps us with. That is, you first have a whole. Part of the whole has been removed. Whatever now remains will now be known as rest. So
Okay.
let's see how that looks like. Let's say this is the whole. 7, 8, 9. So this is the whole of something. Oops. A good understanding of the structuring will make you find it easy to understand rest operator. So we want to remove part of it. Remember, I said number one, you have all. This is all. Then number two, you will remove part of it. So let's remove part of it. So I will destructure the first one out. You know, if I say console log A or alert anyone, that will give me 7. Now I will remove part of it. What you now have left is the rest. Whatever is not part of what have been removed will now be known as rests. I come again. Whatever is not part of what I am removing will now be known as rest. So we can now say dot 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 b. So 8 and 9 are not part of this. I'm only removing a, which is the first value. Whatever is not being removed will now be part of the rest. So these triple dots will now serve as rest. What do we have left? 8 and 9. So 8 and 9 will be inside P. So, do we understand?
Yes.
Yes.
So we have, this is A, 7, this is B, 8 and 9. As you can see, it's an array. That's because the original item is an array. If I remove 2 values, this will now stand for the last value alone, which is 9. Note, whenever you are using rest operator, it needs to be the last thing. You can't put this in the middle. It needs to be the last thing, because it means you've removed what you need, then others unused ones, then let them assign that to B. So when I say B now, B will just be 9. B is 9 inside an array, because that's the only one that we are yet to use. Do we understand how rest operator works?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at how
Yes,
to
sir.
use it with an object. First, destructure the object. This is our main object. Take part of it out. I can take out console. Remember, when you are dealing with objects, position does not matter.
Okay.
So country, which is this, will be taken out of it. Then the rest, which will be state and name. You can now assign it to anything. So if I say console log anything, you will see the rest inside it. So that's the rest operator. Rest operator. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So can we still look at other things tonight? Or we should stop there today and continue tomorrow?
So let's continue.
Okay. So let's look at our HOF, higher order functions. Higher order functions are functions that they take another function as parameter. I think the most used one in React is this map, MAP. I think it's the most used higher order function. In fact, you should be using it directly inside your, should I say your HTML now? You'll be using it directly inside HTML. Map is so used in React. I think the first day I saw it in React, when I saw the React and I saw my, I was like, ah. So, but then it's interesting. It's interesting. Let's look at how this HOF works. Let's revise them. In fact, I'll place a lot of emphasis on this map and filter. I think those are the two you'll be using very well. But this map, you use it over and over and over and over and over again. Another function is a function that takes in another function as parameter. And map, filter, they are inbuilt higher order function. Your work is not even to write them, but your work is just to know how they work and when to use them. So, and you use them with arrays. You use them with arrays. So let's get an array together. I'll just copy this. So this is an array. Then let's new array equals to this first array, which is the main array. You map it. Then you put a function here. You can create the function outside if you want, or you put it indirectly inside. Let's put it outside for a start. Then, as remover, we will remove it and put it inside. So I can create a constant my font, and I'll say my font looks like this. Then you return var times 3. So let's see how this works. Good. We are saying new array equals to ARR, which is this array, dot map. Then we put this whole function, which is my func. We are placing it here. What this is going to do is that it will pick the first value inside this ARR and throw it to this function. This function we assign it to var. Then it will return var times 3. That's 7 times 3, 21. It will return it back to this place. Finally, map will push it inside the new array. When it's done,
Please come
take
again.
the second value, which is 8. It will throw it to map. Map will throw it to my func. My func will send it to var. Then var will return 8 times 3, which is 24. It will return it back to this place, and map will push it inside this new array. Lastly, to pick the third value, 9. Then throw it to map. Map sends it to this. This sends it to var. This multiplies by 327. Then returns it back to this place and push it here. Do you get how that works?
Please come again.
Okay. What map does is, map is going to run the code for each value in this array. Whatever you put here, this map, if you throw them to this one after the other, it will pick the first value and throw it to, give it to my func. My func will assign it to var. You know this is to return.
Yeah, return, yeah.
So it will return 7 times 3.
21.
It will return it back to this place. Finally, map will now push it inside this new array. When it's done, it will pick the next value, which is 8. Give it to my func. My func will give it to var. Then var, it will return var times 3, that's 8 times 3, 24.
24.
It will return it back to this place. And map will push it inside this new array. Then it picks the third value, which is 9. gives this to my func. My func gives this to var. Var times 27, it will be returned back to this place, and it will put inside this new array. Do you understand it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So when I say console log new array, you will see the values now. So it's going
Wow.
to do it for each value in this array. So I can also say, instead of saying this, I can say return. Maybe I var times 3 yes. So the first one will be I am 21 years old. The next will be I am 24 years old. The next will be I am 27 years old. So we have this. Note, this array is still intact. ARR is still intact. We are not
It's a
touching
new
it.
array.
If you say console log, you will still see that the array is intact. That's one of the reasons we are using var. We are using map. You don't want to touch, or you don't want to what's it called? Mutate this array. Yeah. You don't want to mutate this array. So, but yes, you need a new array that contains maybe some things, everything inside this array. In this case, you need a new array that has everything inside the first one. But then maybe you've done some things on it and all of that. So that is where this comes in. Map is going to do that command for each item in that array. But truthfully, you won't be seeing codes like this in React. Let's see how it's going to look like. So since this my func is equal to everything, yeah, meaning I can cut this out and take it to where my func is. This is what it is. Oh, sorry. Take it to where my func is. So this is what it is saying the most. I can now remove my func successfully. So this is what it is saying the most, but it's still the same thing. Instead of putting my func here, you just put that function and paste it here. You still have the same result. Then, remember I said, no, this is a function, right? I want us to note that this is a function.
Yes. So even
if
the
it's,
constant is not necessary again
you
here.
said,
I said so even the constant function self is not necessary here again.
yes, yes. So we also need to know that because it's a function, let's assume, let me bring back our consts. Let's assume we put two arguments here, which is possible. The first one will represent the value, while the second one will represent the index. What do I mean? Let's say present at. So what it's going to do is this. It's going to pick the first value, send it to map. Map will give it to my func. My func will give it to this place. The value of var will be 7. And the value of I will be the position of 7, which is 0. The first one is the value, while the second one represents the index. It can be A and B, but it's still the same thing. The first value represents the value, while the second one represents the index.
The index. Okay.
So this becomes I am 21 years present at
0.
For the next one, it becomes
1.
I am 24 years present at 1, because the position of 8 here is 1. So the third one will be I am 27 years present at 2.
2.
So
Nice.
that's what it's going to look like.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
So why is it that most times that A, they always call it items?
Maybe, just like I said, it can be anything. It can be anything. Just to show that it is an item inside a list. Just to show that, okay, this represents item in a list. Sorry, item in a list, and this will just be I. Just the same reason why this is usually I or index. You can use anything, but just for anybody that sees, you know, oh, this is an item inside a bigger or inside an array. You know, this item represents each item here. In this case, I can call it num. And if I call this array nums, so this is nums, that is, it contains many numbers, while each one of them will be num. You can call it anything, but it's still the same thing. It's still the same logic. Did we get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's bring back this. So we looked at the map. Let's look at the filter. The filter is another interesting HOF. We add more items there. Maybe 15. So let's just filter. I can create a new array also. The filter is like a filter paper that helps you to remove some things. So I can put my condition here. Again, this also expects, remember we are dealing with HOF. HOF is a function that takes in another function. So we want to create this function called myFunc. So let's create it together. So if you just one. Now, when you are using filter, it expects a condition here. So I can say just to ensure that var is greater than 10. So if you pick the first value, which is 7, give this to filter. Filter will give it to myFunc. MyFunc will assign it to var. So is 7 greater than 10? No. You should throw it away.
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
so to pick the next value also, send it to var. Is 8 greater than 10? No, throw it away. Pick 9. Is 9 greater than 10? No, throw it away. Pick the next one, 15. Is 15 greater than 10? Yes, it will return it back to this place. Then filter will help us to push it inside this new array. Then pick the next value also, 20. Is 20 greater than 10? Yes, it will return it.
Yes.
And it will help us to push it inside this place. So we can now say console log new array.
That will be 15 and 20.
To be 15 and 20, correct. So, and if it's 2, once it's more than 1, the second one automatically represents the position, the index. The index. So let me change this condition a bit. Let's say greater than 7. And alright. Let's say less than let's have this. Okay, let's just do it so that at least we have to. Now it's going to pick the first value. Remember I said once you have to, the first one represents the value, while the second one represents the position, the index. So to pick the first value and send this to this place, then the var is 7 and I is the index, which is 0. These two conditions must be met because we are
It
joining
is
them
false.
using hand. Is var greater than 7? No. It will throw it away. Pick the next one, which is 8. Then y is
To trade the rest too.
8 and I is 1. Is 8 greater than 7? Yes.
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 I,
But the index
yeah,
is lesser.
This is not so. It will throw it away. Pick the next one, 9. Is 9 greater than 7? Yes. Is I greater
Yes.
than 2? No.
False.
Away.
No.
Pick the next one, which is 10. Is 10 greater than 7? Yes.
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 I greater than 3? No.
No.
It will throw it away. Then pick the next one, which is 15. Is y greater than 7? Yes.
Yes.
I greater than 3? Yes.
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 Also, this also meets the condition. So only the two of them meets the condition.
New array.
So we have this result. But let's look at a scenario whereby only one of them meets the condition. Only one. So in this case, only 20 will meet the condition. The result
Condition.
will just be 20 inside an array. Note, being inside an array is very, very, very important. Like when you are using filter, if anything, in fact, even if nothing meets the condition, let me put this as 5. In this case, nothing meets the condition, right?
Yes, sir.
None of them is
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
the result to be an empty array.
Yes.
This is very
Wow,
important. And you know that, okay, this is my neon array. So you know that empty array is not falsy. Only 6 things are falsy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
0 false, this null, undefined. What else? I think I'm omitting one. What's the last one? I can't remember the last one. 0 false, empty string, null, undefined. Okay, let's move on. I can't remember the last one. Now, since it's not among this one, if I say if new array, this will still be true because an empty array is not part of this.
Yes.
But instead,
Yes.
I can easily say if dot length. So if dot length will be 0 now, since there is nothing there,
Yes.
and 0 is false.
False.
So it will not meet this condition. It will not meet the condition. I hope you understand what you are doing.
Yes.
So
Yes, boss.
but if it meets the condition, then at least one item will be inside this array. So if I say dot length, that will be true, and it will do whatever we have here. So let's go back to our filter now. We can now cut this out again, like we did the other time. We won't be writing it like this when we start React. I'm only writing it so that it will be easier for us to quickly understand what you are doing. You can write like this and you see how to say results. So console log. Lastly, find. Lastly on this, we want to look at the find. The find works like your filter, except that the find only picks the first value that meets the condition. It only picks the first item that meets the condition. In this case, at least I'm coming 0, 1, 2. At least these 3 meet this condition.
Yes.
But it only
Yes.
picks the first value, which is 10. That's the difference between filter and find. Find only
This
picks
comma.
yes, only the first one. And if nothing meets the condition, it will just be undefined, which is false. Undefined is false.
Please, I don't.
If nothing meets the condition, as in this case now, none of them,
Yeah.
so it will be undefined because it's only
Please,
expecting.
why did the previous one display just 10?
You said?
Why did the previous page display just 10? Since the index is higher than 2, you used 2
In
before.
this case,
Yeah.
this last one, this theory meets the condition. 10 meets the condition. 10 is greater than 7.
Yes.
And the index of 10, which is 3, is also greater
Yes.
than
Greater
2.
than 2. Yes.
So it's
Yes.
the first thing to meet this condition.
Okay.
Do you get it?
I get it.
Yes,
So it's
sir.
not going to display the 15 and the 20.
No, it won't display others. It will only display the first thing.
The first one.
Yes, the
Okay.
very first
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So that's the difference between filter and find.
Fine. Okay.
Find is only finding one thing.
Okay.
The first
Okay.
thing that
The
meets
first one that meets the condition.
Yes.
All right.
So if you are doing all of this with ES5, you will write for loop. Or not just that, you will write if statement. And if you are using find, you will even write break and continue. So you write break,
Wow.
you will write for loop, you will write break,
So-
you will write continue, and all of that
so
inside it.
Literally, we are
this-
going to forget about if statement and
Is that-
for. I said so. Literally, we are going to forget about the if statement and for loop, like in this.
No, no, we won't. We won't. The
Okay,
HOF,
to
the
just
map,
to just help.
yes, it will only reduce the cost you write. The map filter fine will not be able to cater for everything we want to do.
I wish they could.
It can cater for a lot of them, but not all. So if you want to do some complex things, you won't be able to use these ones. It won't be enough.
Okay.
So you may have to go back to the for loop
You have to
and
call
write
on
it.
them. All
But
right.
simple things, maybe you want to do something for everything, you use your map. If you want to write some conditions, simple conditions, filter is fine. Then fine.
Fine.
Then you can also do chaining. You can
All
chain them
right.
together. You can chain things together. How does this work? Let's say, look at this. At least we know that. Okay, I will change this from fine to filter now, so that I'll be able to use chaining effectively. So at least three things meet this condition. Remember, we change this from fine to filter. So it's going to pick this three. So that result, you now want to multiply that result by 2 again. That is, you want to multiply this by 2, this by 2, and this by 2. Do we get what you are doing?
So,
Yes.
yes, sir.
So that means we want to run a map for this result. Remember, map will do that thing for every item there.
Yes.
So you can chain them together. So after this filter, you now say dot map. You put your condition here. You can use anything again. You can call it maybe item or num. Yeah, since you are dealing with number, just say num times 2. So the result of this will now be used for by this map.
To create the new array.
So to create it and push the final results here. So
Everything is working basically because it's coming from the left. Yeah.
you said
I said so it will be producing just the last one. Like that's where the code will stop. So it will be producing the
yes,
last one times
yes.
2. Okay.
So,
All right.
so 20, 30, 40. So we can change them together.
All
We're
right.
calling it a day at this point. We'll continue
All right.
tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a lovely
Thank you,
night
sir.
rest. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you too, man, brother.
Sir, when is our next class?
Tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah, man. God bless you too, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.